Hey guys, East Tennessee Prepper here with another video, almost a video response to my own last video. Um, First off, let me say if you find this video informative, useful, or any of my other videos, or you just enjoy them, or if you have ever wished you had the superpower to reach to the internet and smack the taste out of somebody's mouth, please hit that like and subscribe button. Now I made a video about fear mongering, I still stand by that. But I'm afraid some people may think that I have taken this whole situation a little too lightly, and that is far from it. Now, last night I did fall asleep a little early, and I woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't go back to sleep for a little bit, so got up, did a little bit of research, informing myself a little bit more. And this is my opinion for what it's worth. I'm not a medical expert, financial, blah, 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 etc. and so on, if you can't tell. Am I concerned about COVID-19, the coronavirus? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. And I've got a list of reasons why. First off, let's talk about the virus a little bit. It's new. We don't have natural antibodies for it first. You have to get the virus for your body to react and create those antibodies. It's very easily spread person to person. It has a pretty good ability to live outside of the environment of its host, meaning surfaces like tables, doorknobs, things that we touch. Somebody could infect it, and we come along and touch it, touch our face. And, well, let me tell you something. Once you become aware of trying not to touch your face, you never realize how many times you touch it in a day. It's a very hard habit to break. I think I have a better chance of quitting smoking than I do that. Anyway, so surfaces, things like that. Obviously, it has the ability to mutate like most viruses. And which way it may go, we won't know till the first season of this is over. A baseline, you see a lot of people comparing it to the flu. Well, the 2019 to 2020 flu season thus far has saw 10,000 deaths. Flu season starts in September. Yeah, I know, I just touched my face, but I just hand sanitized right before this video. Flu season is generally from September to about April. And so far we've seen 10,000 deaths, and this one is at 3,000 deaths at a little between a third and half of the season that the flu season has had, or will have so far. I feel like it will easily match, I don't know about surpass, but I feel like it will easily match the flu statistics. I am gravely concerned for nursing homes. People with compromised health conditions, autoimmune, CHF, people fighting cancer, radiation, chemo, lupus, just all kinds of COPD conditions. This is a genuine threat to them. So that's where I'm looking at it, just from the virus point of view. Now, people that like to compare it to the flu need to know that when somebody gets this in the same age category, let's say the 60 years old, it is more severe than the flu, easily more severe, and it's not to be taken lightly. Now, we do have one very proactive nursing home in our area. I cannot stress how impressed I am right now. They have closed off, well, first off, they've restricted the visitor hours. They have closed off all access points to the home except for one entrance. And at that entrance are employees that will screen visitors as they come in, and they scan for temperature. If they have a temperature, I'm sorry, you can't visit right now, you have to go home. Bravo. They did not wait. We do have one case in Tennessee, a few negatives. Officially, we don't know what's out there already. However, they went ahead and jumped all over this. I wish everybody else would do that. The second item on my list for my opinion is government response. We will be in the U.S. reactive and not proactive overall. Now you may be thinking, well, we've had some places declare a state of emergency. That's not proactive, that is reactive. They've seen a situation, they have declared a state of emergency, and what that does is that frees up manpower, resources, things that are normally not available, funding, things like that, things that are normally not available unless there's a time of emergency. So that is reactive, that is not proactive. And that's pretty much the way that's going to keep going. Schools will stay open. Manufacturers are going to stay open, if they can. And the chance for cross infection is pretty high. With that being said, if you own a business or if you work for a business, you work for an employer, I strongly suggest that you go to the CDC website and look underneath the link Guidelines for Businesses. If you are not aware of what they are recommending for your employees or what they are recommending for the employers, you need to be educated on this. I mean, they're asking businesses to, if they're quarantined, don't ask for a doctor's excuse. They don't even want you to go to the doctor. They want you to call the doctor, and the doctor will pretty much tell you to self-quarantine at home unless the situation is worse, and then they may ask you to go to the hospital instead. So, CDC, check it out. Now for the financial part. With this, triggers panic buying. We have seen this around here. I'll go into more detail later on that, but we have definitely saw it. We saw the day after the CDC sounded the alarm about significant disruption to our lives. All the masks were gone, et cetera, and so on. However, my area doctor and his wife was on that disaster cruise ship that was quarantined outside of Hong Kong, and she ended up having to be hospitalized in Japan with the virus. She finally got a couple of negative tests back in and was released, and she returned home a few days ago. The link on Facebook from the news was very lukewarm reception, and I believe that's what triggered the other panic buying as far as food, things like that. And the old TB, it's pretty funny when you walk into Sam's and they're completely out of toilet paper. I believe that event triggered a panic, and we preached about this for years about having stuff on hand so you didn't have to see this. And I personally, honestly, optimistically hoped I never saw anything like this in my life. So if nothing else comes from it, we do have good data to show that this will happen. It's no longer a theory. It should have never been a theory. It is what it is. Human nature is very predictable long-term over history. Anyway, so financial, we got the panic buying, which causes supply shortage, and you having to keep going back out to the stores to see if they restocked. And the more that you go out, the more exposed you are to other people and potentially to the flu and this virus and any other virus that may come down the road. We have a local manufacturer over in Johnson City that is struggling right now because the parts that they need from China are not coming. So it does affect manufacturing. And then we have social distancing. Social distancing, obvious, is a good thing if you want to try to stay away from viruses and other sicknesses. However, social distancing has its negative side too. If the U.S. ever did anything like Italy and required public meeting places and gatherings and entertainment and food establishments to be closed for a certain amount of time, up to a month, they had better be ready to declare that the bills need to stop coming in the meantime, because that will definitely put a strain on everybody. Now you take, obviously it's going to affect food industry. Me and my lovey-dovey were at a Chinese buffet the other day. We went and got our plate and we sat down, and we realized, what, everybody's touched these handles. We're over there just bathing in hand sanitizer. And so people are going to not want to eat out as much. You take entertainment as an example, what I'm in. We are sitting in one of the escape rooms that I designed, and obviously I need people to come and play. Well, I headed this off at the pass last week. I posted a picture of all the Clorox and Lysol and the different products that I use to disinfect the rooms throughout the day. Every time a game is played, it opened, it closed, etc., and so on. To show and microban, using microban, of course, and what we do to disinfect to give them confidence. All of my games here are private. It's a rarity in the escape room business. A lot of times you can have the opportunity or miss opportunity to play with somebody that you don't know. Here, all of them's private, so the only people that you are exposed to are the people that you have brought with you. Now, the arcade is another story, and my plan of action on that is when people are playing, they hop off of one machine, bam, I'm on that machine, cleaning it, and I foresee that keeping me pretty busy. But if people get real fearful, it's definitely going to have an impact on me. A friend of mine is in sales. He works for a very popular window company. And we talked about this the other night, and he is very concerned. He said, you know, part of my job is to go into people's homes. And for years, he's carried around a spray bottle of rubbing alcohol and water mixture to disinfect himself anyway. So, you know, this is something he's always had in the back of his mind. But it's like you said, you know, for me to do my job, I have to go to people's homes. I have to be invited into their home. And if they get really scared about this, my leads are going to dry up, my sales are going to fall off, and my revenue is gone. And I know for a fact he's put off a purchase or two on some things until this is over, because he's afraid that money's going to slow down coming in, if maybe stop. So there are definite financial implications, real down-to-earth, at-home implications. If you get quarantined and they want you to stay out for 14 days, again, if do you have enough food? What if they want you to stay home for 3 weeks? Do you have enough money to keep the electric on, the water running? I suspect some people will go in on their deathbed doing everything they can not to let anybody know that they're sick. So based on everything that I've looked at, local, US-based, and world-based, yes, I'm absolutely concerned. I'm not panicked. I feel fairly prepared for a few months. But, you know, I also have family out there that doesn't live with me I have to look out for as well. My son had texted me last night that, you know, he's got this bottle of sanitizer. He bought a huge, I mean, he's always been a huge germaphobe anyway. He'll tell you that in a heartbeat. But he said that bottle's almost, well, that big bottle's completely out. His little bottle he carries with him at all times almost out. He can't find any more to buy. And my response was, hey, it's pretty lucky that somebody has a prepper dad that might have an extra bottle for you. So, you know, there is family and extended family that we're trying to look out for too. And you have to be proactive for people. And I was talking with one of my old YouTube friends from way back in the beginning of the prepping days. I am one ugly one, or I am one ugly guy. I really wish he'd make a video on this. You know, he went to make sure that anything he was short on, he got stock of, and then he went out of his way to get food for neighbors that he can cook for them if that need arises and stuff like that. So, you know, he's going beyond what a lot of the prepper community will do on that. So, really cool, dude. Make the video. Anyway, guys, that is all I've got right now. And once again, be cautious, be alert. Just don't panic, and do what you can to stop the spread of this virus. And what may be a chest cold to one of you all that may be 25 could be a death sentence to a 60, 65-year-old, a 50-something-year-old, depending on their health condition. So think of other people. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend.